Alright, welcome back to Red versus Red. I am the Saffron Man, this is Sporadiclese, and this is our for or against segment where we come up with three dividing thoughts and opinions and try and defend either for or against said statement. We take it in turns, and hopefully both statements will give you guys a chance to decide of your own opinions down in the comments section down below. So, Sporadiclese, you are against this week, buddy, and our first question for this week is... This is the turning point for Marcus Rashford. So I'm for, you're against. Please start your argument as to why this isn't this turning point for Marcus Rashford.
Sure. I mean, it was a good game for him overall, but this is one of those matches where you expect players, to come in and have a decent performance, right? Scoring against Southampton isn't really an amazing feat, and I think that Marcus Rashford definitely needs a lot in terms of external stimuli and boosts to his confidence. Yes, he has been going in and doing some extra training while he was not picked for international duty, but just seeing him get one goal from Southampton, or against Southampton this weekend, I think I'm going to have to see more of it before I believe that this is a true turning point for him. Definitely good moments, but we're still not seeing a lot of the a lot of the things that made Marcus Rashford to the United fan base. He is still struggling to take people on. I think his confidence is getting there in terms of his willingness to do so, but he's still not the same winger that we saw a couple of seasons ago. And so, until we see him really taking on defenders, really pushing to win the ball back. I can't say that this is really going to be it. It was a good goal, great goal. We mentioned earlier in the podcast that that's probably a goal that him and maybe one other person might be able to score, but a good showing altogether. But I think we need to see it against a little bit more significant competition before I really am convinced that this is the turning point for him.
Yeah, that's great. Just remember, everyone watching for the first time, we are intentionally playing devil's advocate to try and give you the for or against opinions, right? So this isn't what Sporadiclese believes on a daily basis. He's not being a negative Nancy for the sake of views or clicks or whatever. This is part of the game, right? So, devil's advocate, I think that's a great opinion there. But after all that being said, Sporadiclese, I'd say, mate, he's one goal down, 29 to go. What's your problem? Of course he's going to... This is the turning point. And you've got to start at the bottom to get to where he goes. So he's starting... His season starts here. Absolutely is catalyst. We've all seen the hard work he's putting in behind the scenes. Not with anyone. Literally with the elite coaching of Up the RH in Manchester to try and make that happen. And he's done this before. He's been to the gyms like after 18 months ago, which we mentioned already in this episode. He's not one to shy away from the hard work. Just for whatever reason, it's been a mental thing, and maybe mixing it up with people from the RH coaching team and it just sparks that interest of wanting to get goals again. And that sometimes it could be a small thing like that. And today's goal wasn't the best goal you've ever seen from Marcus Rashford. However, no one else, in my opinion, on the pitch could have scored from that position with that technique in that situation. Only Marcus could have done that. So we finally saw something unique from Marcus Rashford against Southampton that reminds us, oh my God, that's Marcus Rashford. We recognise that from Marcus Rashford. The last three games, we haven't really recognised that. Right, we haven't recognised his movements, his body temperament, but today against Southampton we did. We recognised that's Marcus Rashford in a United shirt scoring a goal for Manchester United. So yeah, I believe he's back. Of course, proof is going to be in the pudding, and so like Sporadiclese said, time will tell. But yeah, if it does happen where he turns back to be on top form, we will look back to this moment and say this goal against Southampton was the turning point. And so, yeah, I think God, I should really become a lawyer. I think you should be my you should be my opposition. I love this too much. So, what do you think, this Sporadiclese? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, if he scored 3 goals today, that would be great. But I'd rather him score, 1 goal against Liverpool than 3 goals against Southampton, honestly. And
no longer wanting to be a lawyer. No, that's fine.
Until
it's a great rebuttal.
Until he shows me that he can really grab a game by the scruff of the neck like that. because we were already in a winning position by the time that he scored his goal. But until we see that, he can do that against the best that the Premier League has to offer, is it really a true turning point? I'd rather see 10 important goals than 25 goals that were superfluous, that we were gonna have winning games anyway.
Okay, so I'm obviously not in a winning position. Let's try and get ourselves out of a losing position here. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? Like, we've got to wait to see the results. So, out of everything that's been mentioned, we kind of have to leave it white because we won't know until 5 games from now, 10 games from now. I'm clutching at straws now, but
all right. I'll allow it.
Thank you. Okay, right.
I accept your plea bargain.
Oh, God. Waving the flag and everything. Hey, I got away without getting a defeat there. So let us know what you guys think. Yeah. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Is this the turning point for Marcus Rashford? Yay or nay? In the future, we're going to be doing these videos and podcasts live. So we're getting your live feedback on these points. So let us know what you think down below. We usually gonna go for a certain colour if needed, but we're gonna leave that white because I don't want to be in a losing position on this one. So I'd rather it be 0-0 rather than 1-0 to Sporadiclese. So let's kind of move. Alright, GG Sporadiclese, fair play to you, sir. It is for and against for our next question. I'm going to be obviously for, Sporadiclese is going to be against. So Leny Yoro starts when fit. So let me argue for this one for Sporadiclese to answer to this time. Now, De Ligt has had a fantastic start. We've talked about it in this podcast already. Martinez is a steady Eddie, and he's a general when we've needed him over the last 12 to 18 months, pretty much ever since he's joined us and been fit and able to play, right? So right now, we have 2 stalwart kind of defenders who aren't even reached their prime yet. So people are thinking, wow, we've got such a strong defence. Harry Maguire's going to be lacking for minutes. Lindelof's going to be... Where does Leny Yoro fit? Leny Yoro is a generational talent that has been brought in to be the focal point of our defence for the next 10 years, if possible, right? And especially to get him from the grips of Real Madrid. There is no way that Leny Yoro is going to be sitting on the sidelines, gaining cobwebs. He is going to be put into the team, whether to give Martinez a break, whether to give De Ligt a break, but he will consistently have minutes in matches. This season might be a bit sporadic. He might get 60 minutes here, he might get 20 minutes there as a sub in Europe, he might start a few games. It might be a bit of a mixed bag for him this season, and that's fine. He's moved into a new country, a new club, there's a weight of expectation, he's already been injured. So you have that time to settle into the club, much like some of the other youngsters that come through, like Saku Kone and Naby Martin. I think towards the end of the season, you're going to see him in the team a lot more. Next season, Leny Yoro will get a lot more starts than what he's going to have this season. I absolutely do believe he's going to be getting the minutes when he's fit and able. I do believe he'll walk straight into the team. Other defenders will be getting rest because of the priorities for Leny Yoro. There's no way we've offered him that contract that we have in order for him to kind of sit back. So whether it's like Martinez and De Ligt was like, right, okay, it's our turn to take a break. Whether Maguire's out for 3 weeks for a thigh strain or whatever, Lindelof decides to become a builder instead. Whatever the situation need be, Leny Yoro is going to be there and available, and he'll be walked straight into the team. And honestly, as a career standpoint, good luck in the future, Lindelof. Yeah, fair play. I mean,
I think there's a lot of depth to this question, just because it does boil down to a lot of different things. Whenever he does become fit, what types of games are you going to start him in? I don't think we throw him in against immediately throw him in against like an Arsenal or Manchester City. I don't think he's. I would not put him in right off the bat against a Manchester City. I just wouldn't.
We did get for Cornwall though against Liverpool. We threw him straight in there. So we've done it before.
Well, at the end of the season, because we were playing Casemiro as a friggin'
I know this. I was just saying
it's happened before. You do whenever you have no other options.
I'm just saying that we've done it before, but yeah.
But you're looking at 3 out of the back 4 that we use currently have all played together before. in Lisandro Martinez, Matthijs de Ligt, and Noussair Mazraoui. They have all played together before at Ajax, right? And so that is going to be a cohesive unit. And de Ligt being, a little bit the senior of Leny Yoro. You've already talked about how he could potentially be a general for us in the future. How do you just say that he, a 19-year-old is going to come in and immediately displace, a potential defensive general? I think it's difficult to argue that. Do I think he will get minutes? Yes. Do I think it's going to be a lot of high-profile starts? No. It's going to take time for him to build into that type of role. There are going to be squad rotations, and he will get minutes. But is that going to be, is he going to be one of the first names on the team sheet? No, I just don't see it. Yes, we have brought him in, and we've had to tempt him here with, bigger wages to make sure that, we get him and Real Madrid does not. He is going to be a huge talent, and he is, I would love to see him as part of, our future development and, in our team. He's also not going to be the type of guy that's going to want to sit the bench, to your point. He got regular minutes for Lille, and so he's probably going to want regular minutes, but it's going to be tougher than you might think for him to break into this squad, I think. And if there are injuries within the squad, I think, yeah, he's the first name that you put on the team sheet when there are injuries to your first lineup, your first picks. But as of right now, I don't see him displacing de Ligt long term for this season without a little bit of luck on his side and maybe an injury to de Ligt, which would be unlucky for Manchester United.
So, yeah, again, I agree with most of what you're saying, but I think you completely disregarded my main point, and is that his title is Generational Talent. Now, when you go through previous generational talents that we've had at the club, you think of Ronaldo, you think of Rooney, you think of Giggs, and all these fabulous players that have been those generational talents, and they've been so young, and yet they still demand those minutes because of their age. I mean, Yoro is a generational talent, make no mistake. And much like everyone else, like the Rooneys and Ronaldos, he is going to demand and be given minutes purely for that title alone. So yeah, and that's kind of my main rebuttal. Is I've never known a generational talent.
Who else were supposed to be generational talents?
Go on.
Luke Shaw.
That kind of came through us as a youngster.
To be one.
I mean, Ferguson was the only one that called him a generational talent. No one else agreed with him. And that was just because we were trying to sell him back to Blackburn or something, and we still never sold him. So, okay, all right. You can see where
he's still 19, so whether or not he ends up being a generational talent is still even up for debate, but he is going to have to get minutes in order to become everything that all of his potential is pointing to. So
but I agree, but he was signed as a generation. That title is on his CV now, like signed by Manchester United as a generational centre back talent. Like that's on his title. Now, yeah, he's going to have to prove and earn that, but that's been given to him all the same. So. Yeah, you can see that we're at a standpoint.
That's not something you're given; it's something that you earn. To your point, so he's going to have to earn it, and he's going to have to have a lot of good performances whenever he gets his opportunities. And so he's not got a lot of room for error. I think if you're going to have to try to have him to displace Matthijs de Ligt.
I'm telling you, man. Like he's going to be getting minutes. You can't be taking away minutes. I'm going to have to say it's a 4. Let us know what you guys think. I mean, before I get, but Sporadic, he's of course he's going to be prioritised minutes, especially since even more so that he's been injured for the start of this season. You best think that later on we get to the Europa League and to the Cup games, he's going to be given those minutes, surely.
Surely. And disclaimer, I actually do believe that he is going to be getting starts whenever he's fit. I just have to argue against that for the purpose of this exercise.
Yes. Right, we've gone from a not winning position to a winning position. Okay, so I'm loving this now. So third, again, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Third and final statement, what we have here is Cristian Eriksen deserves more minutes. So, you are against this statement today, Sporadiclese. Please feel free to give us your opening against statement. Off you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in the case of Cristian Eriksen, I think that he's he's going to be one of those players that's good against teams that aren't very good, but he's not somebody that I want to play in high-profile matches. I see him more as a squad rotation player, and this is one of those matches where we kind of needed to rotate the squad. We're about to go through, again, 7 games in the next 22 days. He's going to get some minutes, but I'm not been overly surprised that Casemiro has been getting the starts over Eriksen, just because of what the needs of our team have been. And now that we have Ugarte coming in, he's going to be getting more minutes. So really it's like, are you going to rest Bruno? Okay, Eriksen maybe, unless Mount's available. So whenever Mount's available, Cristian Eriksen's not going to be getting a lot of those minutes. Kobbie Mainoo, I don't think that Cristian Eriksen is a like-for-like swap for Kobbie Mainoo. And so I think Cristian Eriksen is but yeah, Toby Collier is who I would put in. But I think that Cristian Eriksen is going to basically be kind of the next Scott McTominay for the rest of this season. While he's still a United player, he's just going to come in and be an impact player off the bench. I really don't see him getting a ton more minutes. It's just not feasible. His skill set was great, a couple of years ago, but he's just not the same player that he had been at, say Tottenham, and so it's just not something that I see for the future, especially whenever we have so many good talents, good young talents coming up through the academy that we've brought in, and so he's not going to get a ton of time this season.
So, look, I mean, not one person expected him to start today against Southampton. And look, he not only started the game, but we ended up winning the game 3-0. And yes, it was a tough start, but he kind of got to go. And Casemiro might have had a higher high than Cristian Eriksen. But Cristian Eriksen's never had the low of lows that Casemiro has had against Liverpool. Like, Casemiro's never been that guy to make 2 or 3 blundering kind of mistakes and concede us games. It's one mistake here or there. He loses a pace battle with a couple of people every now and then. But when he's on the ball and he's got that vision and people are running for him, he will find you wherever you like. Casemiro, to his credit, made that through ball to Dalot today for the goal, that third goal for Garnacho today. But Cristian Eriksen could do that from 40 yards further back or in any other direction. He can just unlock doors a lot better than Casemiro, in my opinion. And I think, look, Casemiro was never really going to start today. We all thought Ugarte might start, but no one thought Cristian Eriksen. I think this is just a sign of the quality of player that he still is. And he was solid today, under a bit of pressure, and we ended up getting a result. He might not have had the best game of his life, but we got the result 3-0, and he didn't make the mistakes that made us lose 3-0. So already he's an improvement for Casemiro over this season. And so that's got to give the manager trust. I can trust this person, whether it be away in the Europa League, away to Barnet or somewhere else dodgy like in the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. He can rely on Eriksen because, one, Eriksen wants those minutes, because I think he's having trouble with international level now because he's not getting the minutes international level because he's not playing as much. So look, he can play in a Carabao Cup, FA Cup, keep his fitness up and be ready for us whenever needed. And I think he's a lot more trustworthy than others in his position. Toby Collier obviously has earned some trust, but he needs to earn a lot more over the course of this season. Kobbie Mainoo, same kind of deal. Eriksen has lost a lot of trust this season. And so, yeah, there's room for Cristian Eriksen, and I think he does deserve more minutes. At least a chance to prove himself, or to prove the fans to be one way or the other. Are you going to stay for another season, or are you going to leave in January? So he needs to be having the opportunity to perform, to answer those questions, I think. But I believe he deserves more minutes, mate. Yeah, especially when Casemiro is playing the way he is, you know?
Yeah. Well, you mentioned, he's not experiencing the highs that Casemiro is, but he's also not experiencing the lows. If you're not experiencing either one of those, then all you are is bang average. And so
you did just call Eriksen bang average. You didn't just do that, did you? You didn't. Mate, any Danish fan that we've had have just unsubscribed. We're probably only if we're lucky. We're an international channel here.
Now, he has had a fantastic career, but in this United setup, under the current management that we're looking at, he is not the player that we're looking to give all of our minutes to. It's clear that Ineos is trying to build for the future. Cristian Eriksen is not the future of Manchester United. He's lost a step or two. He goes missing in a lot of games. Yes, he has good moments, but overall, we need to be rotating in some fresh blood and really rejuvenate this side with some of these new up and coming players. And so I just don't. I can't say with full confidence that he deserves and is likely to get a lot more minutes. Yes, there will be some. There is going to be need for rotation, but it's not going to be regular. It's going to be teams like Southampton or Everton. It's not going to be against Aston Villa. It's not going to be against Newcastle. You're just not going to see that.
Up until January, I think he's deserving of more minutes. Until we have an opportunity to either move him on or replace him, he is a part of our squad. He's got some experience on it, but he can help us in the position that we are currently in. Ugarte isn't ready. Toby Collier isn't ready. Kobe Mainu isn't ready to start all these. There is a space for a consistent, experienced midfielder to help us out when needed. And again, I trust him more so than Casemiro at this point. So
I'd use him as a cut player primarily.
Hey, but that's more than what he's getting right now. So that's a 4.
It's more than what. Well, how many cup games have we had?
Oh, we're about to have one.
Yeah, we're about to have one. So that's going to be kind of the opportunities that he's really going to be getting. I think is the rotation for some of those cup matches up to your point up until January. So if you really want to talk about is he really going to get more minutes? If he is, it's going to be for the next 3 months.
All right, but let's stick to the language of the question real quick. Does Eriksen deserve? Can think of the mistakes that people like Casemiro and stuff have done, not just against Liverpool, but in recent history. Sure, does he deserve more minutes than what he's either had or about to have?
I don't know that you can say that he's earned the right to more minutes. Would I play him over Casemiro at this point? Yes, because he made fewer mistakes. But you now have Ugarte who's going to come in and he's going to lock down that position, going forward. And so I don't think that it's a matter of deserving. I think it's a matter of necessity. So if you want to talk about semantics, Mr. Lawyer over there, I don't think that, no, it's a deserves. It's a he needs to get more minutes because we need to rotate more important players.
You lawyer, can I call for lunch? Is that all right? Is that fine? Can I just go? Is that good? All right, I'm going to put that as a 4. I'm going to put that as a 4.
Oh, come on.
Because semantics or not, you can envision him getting more minutes than what he's currently had. So I'm taking that as a win.
And here I was being nice on the first one.
I know.
All right, Saf. I'm going to remember this.
Hey, God. It's almost a reverse sweep. But yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you agree with me that I'm right in everything that I say? Or do you agree with Sporadiclese or every now and then on the odd occasion? Let us know in the comment section down below. Come and say hi to us in the comments. Come say hi to us on Twitter and X. You'll probably see me again on Tuesday for our Carabao Cup preview against Barnet. And Sporadiclese, when we're seeing you next? Friday, is it?
Friday.
And what's your match preview? Who we got on Saturday?
Who do we have on Saturday? I should know that right offhand.
I know, that's why I asked.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Let me just, matches. Crystal Palace.
There we go.
It was right there. It was, just on the tip of my tongue. Crystal Palace.
So new comment section. Does Sporadiclese deserve more minutes? Yes or no? In the comment section down below. That'll be great. I think his internet's actually done. There we go. We're good. But yeah, I've been Sam. There we go. You're back. So I've been Sam. That's been Sporadiclese. You'll see me on Tuesday. Sporadiclese on Friday. I'm back again for the RedVsRed podcast each and every weekend, live on YouTube and on Rumble. So make sure you hit like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you all next time. Till then, peace.